This is your captain speaking. Good greetings. I'm Rusty Dog. And welcome to Jorge Chavez International Airport. This is your captain somewhere in Peru. Oops. Good greetings. I'm Hello, DEFCON. I'm just having my pre-flight snack as we get the catering loaded. They gave me a free sausage roll. So, yes, we are in Peru, and we're going to be flying from here to another airport in Peru, because it's quite a big place. I'm going to try and pronounce it all for you. So, this one is the Jorge. I would pronounce that Jorge. I know in different countries the J is pronounced differently, but I'm going to pronounce it Jorge Chavez International Airport. And we're going to be going to Capitan Guillermo Concha Iberico, which is somewhere else in Peru. It's about a 1-hour flight, give or take, which is just about right for me. However, there's a bit of a difference with this one. You know, when we come into land, normally we have an ILS frequency so that the plane can capture the glide slope and come down. Well, we don't have that, because the airport of Capitan Guillermo Concha Iberico doesn't have ILS. So that means we have to descend the plane on our own, and all we have to latch onto in terms of for the autopilot is a VOR. So yeah, until we get there, I don't know how this is going to work. It's the same procedure. You latch onto a frequency, and the plane follows where the VOR is, just like we did in the old Piper Arrow. But this isn't a Piper Arrow. Okay, so that's the catering on board. I've already got the plane powered up. It's powered up, and the GPS is starting to be aligned. So the doors will close on their own, catering will go away. We have around 130 passengers today, 3.3 tons of cargo. So, are we done? We are. So we'll get some preliminaries over with, and then we'll get the passengers on board. Again, we don't have a glass jetway, but nevertheless, it is what it is. All doors are closed, I'm happy. So, when the time comes, we will apply this to the plane. I'm not going to do it right now. It's a little bit too early squirrely. Actually, we can do it now, because it's not going to affect anything. We can always do the the actual loading via GSX a little bit later. So we're carrying a little bit of fuel with us today, 11.2 tons, if I can make it say that. If not, I'll have to settle for 3. I'd rather take more than less. Okay, 7.3 tons. And that gives us a zero fuel weight of 93.8. Might as well call that 93.9. So ZFW I already have this written down, but the numbers have just now changed. Thank you. Gross weight is 10.5 tons. Cool. Alright guys. Andy, hello, and Commander Steve Zodiac. You got the Italian sub? Oh, okay. Haven't messed around with the new planes, how are they? They're actually very good, DEFCON, to be fair. Yeah. The DC-3, the de Havilland Beaver, and the A310 are probably my three favorites. Yeah, no, they're very, very good, trust me. They really are. They've done a really good job. Okay. So, I need to mess around with some windows here. I've got a browser, I've got Navigraph open, I've got SimBrief open. We're gonna need some chit chat now because the radios are in fact on. Yes, they are. So yeah, let's get some live chat from Peru.
7975 cross on talk, speed 17.
And we want to tune into the tower, which is 126.9. So where are you? Yeah, I must see. There's no ILS here, so we can't tune anything in here. So we're going to have to tune it into here, or here, I would say. Yes, into there, VOR1. Going to have to go in there. Right, can you lift up, please? Okay, so the tower frequency for Lima is 126.9, and it's tuned it in. Thank you so much. That's nice of you. Okay. I'm pretty sure I don't have any airline announcements for this particular airline. So this is an airline, LATAM, that comes out of operates out of Brazil mainly, but also operates in Peru. Okay, right. We did apply those, didn't we? Let's put them in again anyway, just in case I didn't. And let's head upstairs and start the flows. So we want seatbelt signs. We want on for when people get on board. We want them to put the seatbelts on straight away. We have greens on all hydraulics. That's nice. And as we work our way up, I think we're good. This has not aligned yet, but that's down to me. Let's see if we can let's get this aligned so that we know that we're there. So first thing we need to do to go to a cars and SimBrief, and there it is. That's our flight plan. And now we can align the IRS. Cost index will be 25. I think I'm going to be using that as standard for this plane because it doesn't get calculated by SimBrief. And flight number is... You would never have guessed that, would you guys? Really? Alternate airport. Good question. It's not Heathrow, is it, or Manchester? No. That's a good question. What's my alternate airport? SPHI. Okay, okay, so we are aligned. SPHI. And it's happy with that. Cool. So there's our frequency. We have south and west, which if we look up here, we should also have. And there it is. So because we are aligned, we can now put ATS on, your dampers on, and now that we're aligned, pitch trims can go on as well. Paul Nesbitt, Wildlife Photography. Hey, hi Paul. Just bought the 40th anniversary edition. Looks like a big learning curve. Last time I had this sim was in the 80s. Wow. Well, you know, to be fair, the principles are the same. So nothing's changed in that regard. But, yeah, if it's been a while since you've flown, it's probably going to be quite similar to just thinking, you know, you might as well just start from scratch, really. I don't know. Okay, once I'm happy that I can start filling everything in, we can get the passengers on board. So let's go to the init. Oh, we are on the init page. Sorry, excuse me. So flight plan. Now we don't have any stars on the way in, and we don't have ILS on the way in. It's like flying in a third world. Oh, maybe. Well, it is, because it's like there's no ILSs. But then again, there's lots of places in our part of the world that don't have these either. But we're going to be flying in old style basically. So we do have a SID on the way out. So runway 16, and we'll be flying out of the ATAT U2F, Atatu. And let's insert that into the frigate plan. And if we come down to... The last thing I want to see is Europe. There it is. It's already put it in. How did you know that? Okay, so there is no stars. Stars exist, but we're not going to be using any of them. So we're going to be coming in on RNAV 19. Now I don't have any Atatu. Yeah, we're going from the Euro VOR direct into the runway. That's going to be an interesting scenario. Okay, no stars. And no transitions. I don't like this. Let me just take a look through here. Top of descent coming down. So you've got CLA still at flight level 280. And then we've got this massive drop from 28,000 feet down to 6.8 at Eura. The distance between CLA and Eura is going to be critical, but it looks like the plane's going to take just about 18 minutes to do it. So we should be able to descend. It's going to be tricky though. Why do I give myself the hardest? Anyway, once we go past, once we hit Eura, we can then come down to Pukap at under 3,000 feet, by which time we won't capture the glide slope. We'll have to bring this thing in on our own. Cool. So the VOR frequency for our coming in is 100. I have never done this before, guys, so this is the first one on me. Why isn't it taking? Why isn't it taking this? It's not ILS, we don't have one. Why aren't you doing anything here? We definitely want the volume of VOR 1 up. ILS as well, but we're not going to use it. And let's turn up the volume of VOR 2.
Thank you, again at 264.
There's a button I need to press, isn't there? I'll bet you there's a button I need to press to go to VOR or something. Yep. It's you, isn't it? Admit it. Yeah. So instead of flicking down to ILS on the descent, we'll be flicking up. Oh, buddy boy. This is new waters for me, so it might not work. Inbound course is 193. 193, I believe they say, don't they?
So let's cancel the altitude restrictions on Star 4000 your discretion and contact arrival.
Okay, so that's our VOR. So we'll be flicking up to VOR later. It's funny how you can dial in ILS without having to move this switch, but not VOR. So we'll need to flick both sides up, I would say. Although, yeah, we will. Okay, bear with me a second, guys. Hello, Richard. How you doing? Okay, sorry about that. I just had to
76195.
attend to something. Right, okay.
270 intercept, clear for the 25.
So I reckon we can start getting the passengers on board now. And the pilots. Some guy's been doing all this.
Boarding requested.
Cargo not close. Oh, of course, you've got to put the baggage in. Got to have the baggage. So we should be having the baggage coming in and the people coming in as well. I hope all this isn't for nothing. That's all I can say. I am challenging myself today. ILS. Sorry, no ILS. So we have a VOR beacon. They are called beacons, aren't they? VORs? Okay. Yeah. I suppose they're not beacons like NDBs, but man, that rubber concertina thing ate right into the plane, didn't it? Okay, so captain, crew, and passengers will be boarding now, so we're not going to be able to see it down the jetway, which is kind of a good thing because it means we can just get on with what we need to get on with here. Okay, so next up, I want to be up here again, I believe, and let's have a look at the flows. So let's start in this panel. So we've done this, we've got the lights on that we need to get on at the time. APU, we can start powering that up now. So give it a couple of seconds and go bleep. Okay, we wait for that to power up and then we'll start getting on the pumps and the heats.
4000 Air Canada.
We are on external power, so we could get these on now. I don't see an issue with that.
Crew boarding starting.
Right, we won't go into the back of the plane here and take a look at the crew coming in.
Arrival Air Canada 264.
So we need that in order to power the APU up. So let's just do that.
264, thank you. Flighting 080 when you get to 4200.
And we want to have a low power supply oxygen on.
Canada
And coming down onto this side. Emergency exit lights are armed. And then see how to test. Is good.
Georgian 7051, arrival, good day. 24 right, altimeter is 2.
Oh, I hope I can do this. I promise, no, I don't promise. I will promise to try not to get raged if it doesn't go to plan. So, because I wasn't expecting to not have an ILS, but you know, it happens, right?
Your crew has boarded. Passengers boarding starting.
Okay, so we need the QNH now. Did I see somebody get the information for the weather from here, or was that a different plane?
4000 clear the ILS 24 right Air Canada 264.
I can't remember whether I actually saw somebody get it from here. It's not going to be there.
Display 170 knots, hold it from NOAA, contact the tower there, 11835. 170 knots to NOAA and 1835 there, Canada 2.
Yeah. I thought I saw somebody with a weather page here. But I guess... I guess not. Yeah, I don't think they did. So, these are our exact weights now. Won't this gross weight now be changing as the passengers... Oh no, we've already boarded them. Yeah, okay. It doesn't work like the Airbus. Okay, the A320. So, zero fuel, we have 93... I put 93.9, that's correct. And 105, so 10.5. Oh, actually, 105.1 is the... Jesus, Rusty. Yeah, so the plane weighs 10 tons. Good calculation. 105.1. I would have picked that up, don't worry. Okay. So, down here. Let's have a look at the flight plan to make sure that all is dandy and good.
2998 and descend to 8000.
998 down to 8,000.
So coming out and then flying up. We will be flying along, I think, for some of the journey anyway, at least until maybe here. We'll be flying on, this is all the coast. So we'll be flying along the coastline. And then it looks like when we make this turn, we're getting a little bit more inland. I'm going to see if I can show you guys the route. What is going on here, please? This looks a little bit strange to me. Why do we have... Okay. These are outbound. Where's Eura? Oh, the Eura VOR is the runway. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. All right, but when I switch then up to VOR, do you remember my setting? No, you... Yes, you do. You just took a little while. Sorry, yes, it did. These are... I don't know what these are. I guess these are... One of these is going to be the... If you can't land and you need to pull out of it, this is the way out. I don't know why that there's two, though. I don't know what this one is.
124.4 centimeters.
I don't know why there's two here. Why? What? Why are these already in front of... Oh, guys, I don't like this. I think I want to... no. No. No, no. I think I want to put this in manual, but it's going to be the same thing. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. So here's the runway, SPUR 19, right? Okay, so that's the runway. So SPUR 19. So anything... Why is TOMEB? Why is TOMEB before SPUR? We're coming in... Guys, help me. Help me understand. Okay, Sigil is the heading we go on if we have to abort the landing. Fine. Why is TOMEB and PUCAP even here? I'm gonna take it out. That makes more sense to me now. I'm gonna regret that, aren't I?
24 right, altimeter is 299.
I'm gonna regret it. I know it. But you see, this makes more sense. Direct to URA. And then, because URA is the VOR that's at the airport. So that makes sense to me. And is CLA above? Okay. So from CLA to URA we have 25 minutes.
3,000, 3,000, one level, turning out through 16.
Oh, God. Why do I get the feeling I'm going to be landing this manually? Probably because I'm going to be landing it manually. Okay, block fuel, guys, is... I think we decided on 11.3 at the end because I couldn't get 11.2. Zero fuel weight. It is 93.9 tons.
Left turn 080, 10, 4,000, Bravo, Charlie Oscar.
And it's filled that in itself. CG is 26.5 and we have a 0.8 pitch trim. So 26.5 and a 0.8 up pitch trim. Lovely. Done. So we've got 0.4 tons of fuel for taxiing, that's quite a bit. 1.9 tons of fuel to get to the alternate airport should we need it. And This always says 0, extra time optional, but I think that's correct. It's not only correct, but it's all good.
Western 2755, descent 4000.
Okay. Right, with the APU on now, well on, as we can probably see. Yep. So the APU is well on. So now we need to... I'm going to put the APU bleed on now. Why do you always hide from me? There we go. APU bleed. And we can now, hopefully, get rid of the ground power. Thank you. Okay, so remaining fuel pumps on. And probe heats on. Window heaters are on. Rodrigo Pinciari. Hi, Rodrigo. How are you, sir? Okay. Anything that I have missed? I'll probably find out. So, packs into economy mode. Let's have a manual scan around. Everything up here is on auto, which is exactly where it should be. For now, I am happy with this panel. The only thing that's showing a fault is the 2 gens, because we don't have the engines on, so that's absolutely fine. Don't miss anything, Rust. No, it looks fine. Okay, I'm going to put the beacon light on now, because we're not long away from starting the engines. How's the passengers? 100 people on board still. Right, so we now need to set the decision altitude for out as -5. And then I want to set the landing elevation at the runway. Now the runway is 116 feet above sea level, so 100 is close as I can get. And we're going to set this to auto. Auto brakes will be set to max a little bit later. Is that doable right now? No. What if we put the gear lever to the off position? Can I do it right now? No, okay. Scientific experiment there, guys. Okay, so we need the QNH. I'm going to have to get it from here because we don't have any weather stuff on the thingy. Oh, no METAR available. Okay. Awesome. Right. I'm going to see if my phone is accurate, guys. I'm going to use an app called Avia Weather, Avia IA, Avia Weather, and I'm going to add SPJC Airport, Jorge Chavez Airport, and according to this, the air pressure is 1016. As you can see, it's set to 1013. I'm going to press the B on the keyboard and see if Flight Simulator agrees. Oh, not quite, eh? Apparently it's 1016. I'm going to be setting... Oops. Where am I going? I'm going to be setting 1016. I'm going to trust my app, guys. Okay, so the winds out is 170 for 3 knots, and we are 20 degrees here today. So, nice. Baggage done? Yes, baggage is done. And it looks like we have the passengers on board as well. Cool. Bye-bye, little truck. And thanks for your service. Alright. I guess we can get rid of the jetway as well. And let's go into the performance takeoff here. I still need to know what the O is. So if anybody does know, I know this is flaps, slats. I don't know what. I guess the O is the O on VFTO, right? Let's have a look. Final takeoff speed. Okay. Alright, so let's calculate what we need to calculate, guys. So we pop into here, and the takeoff runway, I happen to know, is 3,508 meters long. The surface is dry. The QDM, the magnetic north direction of the runway, is 156 degrees. The winds at the moment, according to my app, is 170 at 3 knots, and the outside air temperature, according to the app, is 20 degrees. QNH is 1016 in hectopascals. Weight of the plane, well, the gross weight is 105.1 tons. Flaps 15, yes. Anti-ice will be off. It's not cold enough for that. Air conditioning will be on. So I think you've got all the information you need. Go. Okay. I won't be using flex today, but we'll take a note of these speeds: 135, 135, and 170. Let's feed those in as the passengers get themselves comfortable. And we'll set this to 170, because if we don't, then we can't have it here. So there it is. Okay. Altitude. Well, transition is 10,000. Course outbound is 156. So let's set that here. Trying to just not forget anything. Okay, can I set nav and profile now? Yeah, we can. Cool. Alright, excellent. So, I need to feed in the MDA. I haven't fed that in here yet. Where are you, MDA? Where do you go? Okay. Is that, it must be on the approach screen then? There it is. I guess we can feed it in now then. So the decision altitude for coming down will be 640. And we will be initiating a 30-40 flaps landing. Okay, dudes, I'm happy with everything that's here. So we can switch that over to the flight plan. On this screen, I would like to have the... yeah, this'll do. Elaine! Have you not read my DM yet? I have read it. I read it on... yes, I read it straight after the last stream. I did, thank you. I have made no decisions on it yet though, but I did indeed read it, yes. It looks interesting. The hold on a sec, I just want to get your... because I know you posted something afterwards. Oh yeah, the text message thing. Yes, it was readable. It was readable. Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay. Are we ready to go? It would seem so. Alright, dudes. I may have to manually land this damn thing, but I'm going to give it a try with the VOR. It's a new one on me. Alright, final checks then. So, TCAS is on. Oh, keep forgetting to do the reset of the rudder trim. That's now done. And everything working, thankfully. So, we've got a couple more things to do. Auto brakes and ground spoilers armed, but we can do that after taxiing. Now, we're taking off from runway 16. Can we see that up here? See, we're going to be flying, guys, up here along this coastline. And let's see if it shows SPUR up on the map. SPRU. Uh-oh. Wait a... Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, that's where we're headed to, guys. Oh, look at this. See, no ILS. I don't like the fact there's no sound. I think the flight could be screwed up. Yep, flight's fucked. Well, that's the end of this stream, guys. Ugh. How have they not fixed this? Where the VFR map takes away the sound and then stops the buttons working. Watch. As I twiddle this button, you'll see that it will work because you'll see this display changing. But there's no animation. We're done. Nothing I can do about it. This is the worst bug in MSFS. It's the worst one that they have. I would rather have a crashed desktop than go through that. It comes to the same thing, but still. Fuck. My swear filter is off. I'm not going to be that person anymore. I'm going to be who I am. Because life deserves it. So we're back to square one then. Cold and dark. Isn't that lovely? Gee, thanks, Flight Sim. From now on, little nav map, okay? This piece of shit, just don't even bother with it.
360, Swift 9742.
What a pile of shit this is. So we're taking off from 6.
WestJet 2755, traffic 1 o'clock and 5 miles to dash 8 for the north parallel. Advise we have the field in sight.
You don't have the markings on the runway? What the hell? I know this is a... never mind. Yeah, we'll just use little nav map for when the time comes.
Thanks, WestJet 2755, recured visual approach 248.
How is the radio working?
2755.
Do I not have the option on that it only works when there's comms? I do now. Well, do we go again? Thing is, SimBrief has got a time of departure and that's kind of gone out the window now. Right, let's see if we can quickly get this going again. We'll just do everything the quick way. It would have been nice to have done everything the GSX way, but, you know. life is shit, and this is what happens. Now where's the galley? Oh, fuck. Well done, Rusty. This is where once one thing goes wrong, then everything will. And there's no stopping it. This stream needs to go well today, otherwise I won't do the second one. I won't, because I wouldn't be sociable enough. So this needs to go right. Okay, so I'm going to wait to do the alignment for a while. I really thought they'd fix this issue because I hadn't had it for a long time. And they've had, since I had it last, they've had a server update, and they've had a big 40th anniversary update with plenty of bug fixes. So, with that in mind, how on earth did that particular bug not get ironed out? How is that one not sorted? It's a biggie, and it can't be me that's just experienced it. It's got to be other people too. So yeah, I don't understand it at all. Anyway, I guess it is what it is, as they say. Right, in it. Nope. Not in it. We want to go to here, and here, and here. Even though I was planning not to put the sim brief plan in this time and just do it manual, but we'll see what happens. Cost index of 25. Cruise altitude is correct. Flight is 2627. Okay, happy with that. So you can align. Right then, flight plan. Talk to me. So we're going out on 16 with the SID. And coming down, it's going to mess up the flight plan again, just like last time. Maybe I should leave it and just put the runway in, because look, Euro to SPUR, that matches what SimBrief says, okay? But if we go in here and just add the approach, the runway, without putting anything in here, we can't insert yet because we need to tell it that we're not going to be using any stars. And now I'll bet you it's added a load of crap in between URA. Yeah, now we've got these two. And as we know from previous experience, that's not quite right. So, yeah, it's all over the place. And so, we need to start removing, at least, I'm going to go with my gut feeling and remove these because it doesn't make sense otherwise to me. And if it doesn't make sense, then there's no point. So the VOR frequency is, yeah, you see you didn't remember last time, so we'll have to feed that in. Have to feed that in when the time comes, because once we switch back to nav, it forgets the frequency you put in. That's not cool. Let's switch that back to map now. And put that up to 30. Put the constraints on. And where did we get to? That's all done. Hydraulics are green. Which trims can go on now. APU can go on. 2, 1, go. And as that's firing up, we can put the low power oxygen on. Econ flow. Make sure I don't forget to put that on, okay? Yeah. Put the APU bleed on now. Yes, forgetting econ flow wouldn't be a good idea. I think it causes some decent issues later on with cabin pressure if we don't do it. Okay, that's whoops, oh, too far. And now here I'm gonna flick this up because I think it was 170 last time, but I'm gonna put it up here anyway so we can have it there. This is there. Heading select. So outbound course is 156. DH for out is -5, and nav and profile on. Now then, what else? Plenty of stuff, Rusty, plenty of stuff. I'm going to, whoops, I keep forgetting that. This is my muscle memory from other planes. Gonna go with 1016 again, because yes. And yeah, I think that's good. Oh, do you know what I forgot to do last time? So it's probably a good thing. Oh, that tells me that the APU's up. We've suddenly just got the air conditioning coming through. Yeah. Okay, so come on. Come on. Up arrow. Give me the up arrow. That. I didn't turn that on last time. Good thing we have to do it again then, I suppose, right? Okay, am I happy with the flight plan? Not 100%, but we're going to go with it. So back here, next page, block fuel is $11.3 tons. Zero fuel weight is 93.9 tons. Takeoff ground weight, we have it as 105.1. You don't. So I'm going to put 105.1 in. The plane thinks it's that. I disagree. Oh, not allowed. I'm not allowed to disagree with you. Well, hey ho. Okay. Let's do not that. Is it? Bear with me. I just need to step through here a bit at a time. Go here. Yep, 26. Is it 0.8 still? It is. Okay, so 20. Jesus. Yes, 26.5, Rusty, not 25.6. So 26.5 CG, blah 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 blah. All this is good. And 0.8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 clicks. Okay. That's 8 clicks before we get to the 1, therefore 0.8. Cool. Flight cruise 280, correct. Right, this is page 2 of init, so now into, no, not tactical, takeoff. Okay. Before we do that, up here, all fuel pumps on. See, rushing through this now is going to make something go wrong, because I'll miss something. Econ flow can go on now. Normally in planes, the packs, the aircon, you normally turn them off for takeoff and then put them back on for you know, after you've taken off. So I don't know whether this is supposed to go on after, or you can do it now, or whether the packs stay on the whole time. I don't know. I just go with whatever works though, and this works. So, spoiler and speed brake fault. I'm going to assume that's okay for now. We need APU bleed is on. Yeah, I did turn it on. Okay, that can stay on then. Right, so beacon light on. I'm going to put the nose to takeoff mode now, which is not what you should do. Don't try that at home, kids. But I'm doing it now because I'll forget later. I'm terrible with the lights. I tend to forget a lot of times. Okay. So, flight plan. Are we happy? No, but we're going with it. Right, calculations for takeoff then. So, takeoff runway is... Where's the line that I wrote it? There it is. So, takeoff is 3,508 meters of runway. That's way plenty. The direction of the runway is 156 degrees. The wind, according to the app, was 170 degrees at 3 knots. That's a nice calming wind. Temperature still 20 degrees. Quite warm here. And the QNH is still 1016. The weight of the aircraft right now is 105.1 tons. Those are correct, and again exactly the same. So let's feed that in. 135. 135. Seeing as I were in Peru, I can do a little bit of Spanish. So that's good. Approach. MDA is 640, I think it was. I'm not going to look at my notepad, but I'm pretty sure it was 640. Now I'm going to look at my notepad. Yes, it was. I had to check, guys. Right. We want this set to 116 or closest to it, which is that. Constraints on. Yep. Right. Autopilot settings. Yep. Good. TCAS is set. Throttles are idle. So, auto brakes required and speed brakes required later. Guys, I think we are where we were before the epic fail happened. Okay. Are we ready? What do we got here? APU running, external power connected. True, we don't need that guy anymore. Parking brake is on, seat belts are on, no smoking is on, econ flow selected. All good, happy with that. Now, little nav map. Tell me, which way do we taxi out, please? Nose left, nose right. Think of it like this: people are watching mostly for me. Yes, I know that's kind of a good thing. That helps me a lot. Okay, so runway, oh, it's the other way. It's, yeah, because here's the thing. We're going to be flying north, okay? But the runway we're taking off from is going to head us in a southerly direction, which is the wrong way. Now, the reason that happens is because of the winds. Alright, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think whichever runway is assigned as the active runway is the one that has the headwind. So if the winds are coming from the south to the north, we will have a headwind, and therefore we will have to take off into the headwind because it's better for the plane's performance, and therefore runway 16 will be that. So we know that the winds here are coming from 170 degrees, which is almost south, because south is 180. So the winds are coming from 170, right? So yeah, that's why we're having to take off south, and then we'll have to do a complete U-turn, so to speak, in order to get back on our flight path. So if we can see, bring this down a little bit. This is the way we're going, but we're going to take off this way. God. I'm sure, yeah. Do we have, on the flight plan, does it show north? Yeah, okay, so we're flying this way, but we're taking off this way, down south. This is south, right? So we're going to be taking off down this way, and then we're going to have to do, I mean, the plane's not going to do this. It's not going to turn on a dime like this. It's just going to have to come out a little bit here, and then we'll just make a nice little curve around here, and we'll go up, and then it'll start going north. Let's just see that, as you can see. So yeah, it has to do that, and that's just because of the headwind. Okay, I am happy with it. So everything is in that I want to be in, and I just need to feed in VOR frequencies on the way down, which I hope I can manage, because otherwise I'm going to start swearing again. Okay, so we need to go nose left for this one, so we can certainly get that job done. Alright, again, just quick final checks here. I think everything is set. Low pressure on the pumps is fine. Low pressure on the gen is fine. That's all to do with the fact that the engines are not started. How are we doing on fuel? Still got 11.3. Cool. That's not bad considering the APU's been running. It does consume fuel. Right. Let's go. GSX, can I trust you? Can I trust you to not crash me? Okay, I'm going to remove the parking brake then, so that we can be... Oh, you want me to set it? Okay. It wants me to wait until it tells me. Okay, so everything here we can get rid of GPU. I'm happy with this anyway. We need to set the flaps for takeoff. There's a couple of things still to do, but we'll be okay with it. I have never been in Peru before in terms of in this flying in the MSFS. I have done a couple of South America trips. I've done Brazil before, but I've never done Peru. I'm not quite sure why I picked it really, but I thought it might be cool because it's different. And I was looking for some specific Peruvian. I was looking at all the airlines that operate in Peru. LATAM or LATAM is one of. I think it would be LATAM is one of them, but there are other more. You know, where it's got the word Peru in the airlines. So there was none of them available. as you can probably imagine, but we did get hold of Latham, so that's kind of cool. Right, we want to go nose left, please. Did she just have a Spanish accent as well? I don't believe it. They've even got different accents for the region that you're in. Look at those mountains in the background, guys. Ooh. That's amazing. Okay, well, let's set the takeoff flaps down to 15 after we've started the engines. So, right, let's go for engine start on 2. Okay, so just waiting for N2 to rise to 20, and then we can start pushing the fuel in. 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And pop the fuel in, please. So, our left engine, as you look at it, is kicking in. It should start firing up a lot faster. There she goes. Some construction going on in the background there. I'm not sure are you turning me? Are we going here to this taxiway? Because I don't know if you're turning me as much as you should be. But yeah, I'm going to leave you to it and see where we end up. Okay. It looks like we have a decent engine start there, so let's get engine 2 fired up. It's engine 1, but it's the second engine that we're doing. That's what I mean. Sorry guys, I don't mean to confuse. It's engine 1, but it's our second engine, yes. And we have 20%, and we can now inject the fuel. Throttle's remaining idle. So, N1 should see a nice, decent rise up to around where this is. And we do indeed have a good engine start. Okay, so some flappage is required. So we want to be at 15. I love the fact that they've got the kind of the Spanish person speaking English accent. I think that's brilliant. Okay, yes, we do have a good engine start on both engines, so you can.
We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Thank you very much. And now we will get her confirmation. Oh, I see where she's faced me now. Look at that, they've got it bang on, look. It's because we need to follow here, here, and then, are we going straight? Yeah, we have to go straight up here. And there's our runway. Oh, nice. Admittedly, I already have pre-downloaded the GSX profile for this airport. So that's why she's put us exactly on the taxiway. Very cool. Speed brakes armed. Auto brake set to max. Okay, I'm gonna now, while we're waiting for her to give us the okay, I'm gonna turn the APU off. And it's still available because it takes a while to spin down. So I think that goes away after a little while. Okay, we can have ignition off. If we had really bad weather going up or coming down, we would switch this to continuous, but we don't. So is she around? Where is she? Oh, there she is. I can't even see her. But we did just get the okay. Yes, we did. Okay. I didn't even see her. She was being blocked by my A-pillar. Weather's not too great today. Peru. Gain damage. I gain damage. I'm not expecting this flight to go well on the landing because it's all different. We're not going to be doing anything that lines up with the runway. So I just know I'm going to have to do some manual heading on the way down because the plane's going to head straight for the VOR and that is the runway. So there's no like proper approach, so to speak. So I'm going to have to make one. Okay, has she gone? Because I don't want her in the way of the aircraft. Well, she walks quickly. Right, okay, I'm ready to go. So we need... Bear with me, dudes. So Lima Tower 126.9. I just want to see if we get live comms when we do this. There we go. Oh! Can't see it. Doesn't matter, I can switch it over. Do we have live comms now? It says COM 1 is not present. Okay, back into settings then. Okay, other aircraft. Yeah, again, the injection, I'm going to actually leave. I'm going to re-inject the aeroplanes, guys, because I don't know why we don't have anything here. So let's inject the real planes that are supposed to be here, because that's going to affect the whole flight, really. Come on. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm ready. Okay, flaps are done, speed brake is done, auto brakes are on. Come on now, window, don't mess me about. Now I am preparing for the worst on the landing. I'm hoping I can do it. I think it's within my capabilities to do it. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. Not at all. But I will do my best. We're just slightly too quick. Must be on a different screen because my keys aren't responding. Okay, slow down, slow down. You're not supposed to taxi this quick. is this is a decent taxi speed, I think, for me. There you can see the windsock the wind is pushing against the way that we're going to be taking off, which is what we want. Okay, I'm happy with everything that's set on the plane except for the fact that the auto brakes have cancelled, but that's okay. Okay, auto brakes set, speed brake is on, flaps are 15, slats 15, speed is set, altitude set, heading is set. Okay. Parking brake off. Initial power. Release the brakes. Stable engines and push it. Come on, baby. Give me all you got. Which is not a lot. I have no idea why she just stopped, but the auto brakes are off now. The auto brakes were stopping the plane and I don't know why, so first time I've ever seen that before. V1 and rotate. Positive climb and gear up. Retracting the spoiler to the next level. Speed brakes off. So we're going to be flying out to sea initially by the looks of things. Just ascending at around 10 degrees. I haven't been paying attention here, but turned a bit too far. But we're good. I'm still manual flying at the moment, which I'm happy with. Gear lever can go into the off position. Still manual. Yeah, it was really cloudy, wasn't it? Before. Excuse me, guys. I don't have a free hand to mute at the moment. Autopilot on. Auto throttle is on now. Okay, sit back and enjoy the ride, guys. So I think we can start climbing through to 280 right now. So let's do that. Okay, we're through the transition altitude, so now it's a case of going to standard. Standard is 2992. But now these two should marry up, hopefully. Right. Cabin temperatures are 23s, which is excellent. Well, it's bright up here. I believe the airport that we're going to go to has only got the one runway, and this is such a shame here because we are flying along the coastline, and because of the clouds, we don't get to see it. I'm going to show you the. As we ascend here, I'm going to show you the flight plan. So as you can see here, we took off from here. We've had to do this downward, and now we're just doing this next bit now up here. And we would have the land in sight all the way up here, and then we start to go. Remember when I said that as soon as that line turned, that was us going back inland again. And then we go up here, past Chimbote, and that's our alternate airport, which I guess we would have to turn back to if anything went wrong. And it's right up here. Chulucanas, Baita, and Sechura. Yeah, so this is where we are in the world, guys. Peru. Right on the west coast of South America. And this spur is... Are you going to tell me? Are you going to say it? There you go. Oh, you can't see it, can you? It's a pop-out. Fair enough. So yeah, so that's basically our trip. But while we've got clouds, okay, we're now at 16,000 feet, so seat belts can go off. Yeah, while we've got the clouds, we're going to miss all of this, aren't we? Well, there's the sea down there, that's pretty clear. And the land is over there, those lovely mountains. But the transition between the land, which here, and the sea is kind of blocked off. Which is a shame. Right. I didn't turn the bleed off. I'm going to leave that off. Yeah, see that our veil is gone now? Now that it's powered down properly. Okay. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. Okay. I wasn't sure we had the right fuel there. I was looking at those numbers and I was thinking, yeah, is that right? But yeah, it is. It is. We can check down here. 9.6. Wow. What did we start with? 11.3. I hope we've got enough left over. This is, if I'm not mistaken, these are the pressures for our foot brakes, our wheel brakes. And this is the parking brake pressure which is just about in the green. So we haven't worn the pads out. Yeah. Oh my God, this is going to be an interesting descent. Simply because we're not making any. There's no approach into the runway. You know, when you make that final approach and maybe you're, say, 8 miles out and you're directly facing the runway coming in, you know, like a normal flight would be on an airliner, but this one doesn't do that. We pop into the flight plan here. Yeah, we're not having that luxury. We're just coming from CLA to there, and obviously we can't land diagonally on the runway, so we're going to have to change the heading after CLA so that we're going to be around here, and then we can change the heading so the plane can fly directly in. But I'm going to have to do that manually, unless there are is it the A320 that can do it, where you can probably do it with this as well, where you can add a fixed point, so you can work out where this is in terms of latitude, longitude, and you can program a waypoint in, a manual waypoint in, so that the plane can fly to it. But I have never done that before. It's usually fix or something like that. I don't know whether you can do it on here. I don't think so. No. Program. Oh, bearing distance. Yeah. So I think you might be able to add one here. You add a bearing. No, sorry, that's not what this is. Nope. This is when you type in, like, for example, our VOR at the end is URA, so you would type in URA here, and it would tell you the bearing and distance to that. So that would be handy information. It's premature to do it now, but we can put it in. So you can see here that it's 335 degrees. We've got 420 nautical miles to get to the URA, which is right on the runway as well. CHH. Oh, I couldn't tell you at the moment. Probably. Every airport in the world should be on here. Yeah. I think on the A320, possibly also the Boeing 737, you can add a fix of your own, a waypoint of your own. Surely you can do it here, though. I would have thought it would have been in Prague, but no. That's a different thing. Looks like. Yeah, no, I don't know. Because what we're going to want to do... Okay. That was very delayed. Okay, we need to come out even further. Further still. Right, so there's top of descent. So I think at top of descent, this is west, right? So I guess that's in relation to... See, now you're making me question things.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So we know that the inbound course for the runway is 193. So what I think we'll do is, after we get to top of descent, on the descent we will turn the aeroplane to 270, until we get more or less, say, here, and then we'll adjust the course to heading 193 and it can head towards the runway while we're descending. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? What could possibly go wrong here? This is another test I need to pass now. Ideally, what I would do is create a fixed point. If I knew how to do it, I would create a fixed point about, say, 15 miles out, and I would make the plane head to a point right there. And then once it's there, it can start turning. Just basically to add another waypoint in a manual waypoint. Maybe you can do it on the flight plan, you know, because the difference is, so between CLA and EURA is where the waypoint needs to be. Can we see here? We can put in an actual via or a waypoint or a holding pattern, but in terms of actually feeding in your own, let me have a look at little nav map and see if there is any other like VORs or any such thing in the region that I can maybe add, just to add a little bit more gambit to my to my flight. So we're coming in runway 19. Seriously? That's from the north. Oh dear me. Okay, so do we have any... Well, we've got plenty of waypoints here, but... Oh, you bugger. Tomeb. The one that you said that I removed. But Tomeb has to go before... Okay. Let's see if this works, guys. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't. Do we put it in here? Okay, so now we've added Tomeb in between CLA. Does that give us a better route in? Dun dun dun. Because Tomeb was on the list, remember? On the flight plan, and I removed it. Okay, why aren't you moving? Hello? Okay, so up to Tomeb then. Yeah. So we reached Tomeb, but how far away is that? It doesn't look far enough away. And then from Tomeb, we just do it direct to URA. Can you connect the two? Can you connect the two? Okay, what do we have? Oh! Okay. So basically, it would be coming up here, and then it would be turning back down into the airport. Correct? The thing is... Okay. Tomeb's at the center. Yes! It works! Because this is 7.5 nautical miles away, this is 15, so you could argue that the runway distance to Tomeb is 10 nautical miles. That works for me. We're turning at Tomeb, we've got 10 nautical miles to come down. I'm a genius. I'm learning as I go, guys. I still am. So the Tomeb altitude, 4,810.
Caribbean 600, turn right onto runway 061, then left on Delta 4, taxiway Delta on the other side where you are.
That works for me, guys. I'm happy with that. What I don't get is why the go around, or the, not the go around, but the, when you abort, if you have to abort the landing, this is where you need to go. So you're coming in this way, and then you think abort, abort, abort. You've got to take off and then come round to head towards Sigel, but that's not where that line is. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. It's not really a problem. Okay, I'm good with this. I feel a little bit better about it now anyway. Just looking at little nav map there, just seeing that waypoint was there to be added. And there's another one we can even add, which is UR804, but I think we'd have to add that. I think we'd put it. Oh no, I guess you'd put it here. It looks like one of those points that you'd put here, though, to be fair. But I don't know. But yeah, you can add UR804. Because that UR804 is in between Tomeb and the runway. You could add it. Let's see what happens when we do. UR804. Does it go here? Okay, so Tomeb to UR804. It's kind of on the route, so it doesn't really, it doesn't make the plane fly. Look, 3,400. It doesn't make the plane fly any strange way. Yeah, there you go. So Tomeb 804, and then let's remove the discontinuity to the runway, or at least to Euro. We can probably get rid of Euro now, because we'll just be coming straight down to the airport. So you see, we make this turn, and we've got that waypoint and that waypoint, and then we're pretty much lined up on the way in. Oh man, talk about learning as you go. This is literally what's happening. Yeah, that's better. Check this out. Wow, look at the snowy mountains over there. Oh my god, this is gorgeous. Oh, this is so much better now. Look at those mountains. It's kind of just it's just the landscape I was expecting. Just the landscape I was expecting. Just, yeah, mountainous like that. Aeropuerto de Chapoyas. Is it? Oh, Chachapoyas is in the game as well. Is that the full ICAO, CHH? Why that one gain damage? Where did you get that one from? Oh, also, I am now pulling my hot ass throttle all the way back to closed. Not these, because they're done by the autopilot, but my hot ass is now pushed right back to 0. I don't want any interference on the descent. Yeah. So our course in is going to be 193. That's going to be interesting. Now we're going to stay in nav mode until we get to our destination. So we can switch this to 193 now. It won't do anything. Let's get back onto map. And also, let's pull that out just a little. And yeah. Man, what are these down? Is this just meant to be like a river or something? Because that looks kind of weird. That doesn't look like water to me. What is this? And what do we have here? The floor of my room is shaking because I've got the subwoofer on the floor. And when I go here, It's shaking my floor. We've got the moon out. Oh, you guys. I am using a Thrustmaster T16000M Portas upside down because I'm left-handed, so I have to use it upside down. So the levers are at the top instead of underneath. Yeah, I've got it the wrong way around. It's the only way I can do it. The other day, a couple of days ago, I had a look at this plane in VR, and I did a takeoff from a runway. I had the plane pre-powered up. I didn't have to do anything. Wow. I mean, when you get in VR in this thing, it's big. This cockpit it's sizable. And it's really cool. The problem, for me at least, was the fact that this plane is already a decent hit on frame rates, and in VR it was more noticeable. It was very stuttery, and it seems to me in VR what happens is when you have a frame hog, right, then you have the situation where the graphics look kind of watery, so to speak. It gets kind of fluid and watery, and it's kind of weird. Okay, we have icing. We better turn that on. We have an icing warning. Center tank feeding. Talk to me. Oh. Normally, it would use up the center first before here, right? I always thought that they used up center tank first. There's no fuel left in the inner wings. Outer wings is fine. They've got the same as what they had before. But you can use these up here to feed the fuel from the center out to the wings. I don't think we want to be doing that right now. But to get them into the center, I think you would turn off the inner pumps, leave the center ones running, do a cross feed, and then the fuel would flow out from the center, across, and down. No, wait a minute. They've got to go from there to there. So you'd have to block these two lines off, okay? So that the fuel, when it flows from center up, it can't go beyond here, and it has to come down into here. I think that's what you would do. Once the fuel from the center has gone into the wings, then you can initiate these pumps again and maybe turn the center ones off. But these are out of fuel now. It's not going to crossfeed, so we can. Yeah, that's a warning, but we can. I'm sure you can turn these inner pumps off now. There's no more fuel to pump. So it's going to start using up center, and then we have about 6 tons of fuel remaining on the outer wings. Cool. It's the full IATA code. That's the airport where IATA, okay. That's the airport where a friend landed a few years ago when he went out to a tour through the jungle to see stuff from the old Chachapoyas culture, if it's named. Well, do you know which airport he left from? And was it a commercial flight or was it a small plane? We could possibly do the flight. But I can't tell you right now if it's I don't think so anyway. I don't think I can tell you right now if it's in the game. So top of descent is after CLA, we know that. Let's just increase our distance just a minute. BTE, which is here. Yeah, we're good. We're good so far, but that means nothing. So we're feeding fuel from the center tank now. 7.5 tons of fuel remaining, which I believe is enough. Going by experience, which I have very little. Speed is... See, these don't quite agree here. Here we've got a speed of 295. Oh yeah, it does agree. Sorry, I'm looking at these white. It does. It's spot on. I was thinking that this white was 300, but it isn't. Hmm. 2, 1, 3, 7. Does that marry up with? Does that marry up with this? Seven, 141. No, it doesn't. Okay. I think why these lines are in this specific. It must be to do with like cruise. I have no idea what that is. 217. I have no idea what these lines are for. This is yeah, I'll have to find out. Oh, look at this place here. Man, it's all mountains, eh? We're not even high enough for the contrails. Yeah, we're not even high enough to get the contrails. So the fact that we're not up at, say, 39,000 feet does mean we're going to be using a little bit more fuel than usual. Engines are at 90%. The limit in cruise is 100.6%, which is where that orange marker is. So we're below the limits, as we should be. EGTs are below their limits as well, N2s are as well. Fuel flow, we are using up 1.52 tons per, it can't be minute, otherwise we'd be completely screwed. I don't know what that is. It can't be per hour either. But that's the fuel flow. It's a bit faster on this engine, but hey, maybe it's supposed to be that way. I wish we had the distances between each one here. I can find out how long it is to CLA just in here. Remember we had this? Well, if I typed in CLA, for example, and fed that into there, again, we don't have, I know it's the top one, but we don't have distances. But if you look up here, you'll see that we are here, south 901, west 78, okay? So when you come down to here, you got south 06 and west 79. It's not going to be all this one, so it's this baby here. So it's 154 nautical miles to CLA at a bearing of 332, which we're pretty much on, right? Yeah. So you can find out that way. Also, I believe it should also be able to do airports. So our destination airport is SPUR. It's going to be probably about the same. Oh no, of course. SPUR will match URA. So 332-252. So if we put URA in, it should be the same. So this should read the same. 251, go. Yeah, it's the same. Why? Because the VOR is on top of the airport. That's why. That's why, boy. 250 nautical miles to destination then. So here at TRU we're supposed to be pushing 295, which we are. 295 at flight level 280, which we are. We're all good for a little while. Let's admire the view. Oh, first he arrived at Peru, then he took a smaller plane from there to Chachapoyas. If you know the airport that he took off from to get to Chachapoyas, and if you know the plane, and we have a similar one or the same one here, we can do the same flight. So you can experience what he did. Look at this scenery. Holy smoke. Wow. I haven't heard of Chachapoyas, but I've heard of the Machu Picchu and the Mayans and stuff. I'm pretty sure that those the Mayan temples should be. I would hope that they are modeled here in the sim. You can take a small aeroplane, I guess, one day and find out. Okay, so yeah, everything good up here, no oranges. How's the outside air temp? Minus 27 is sat. So that's the temperature of the wind going past the aeroplane, and 0 degrees is the temperature of the air hitting the aeroplane's skin, or the sensors, I guess, on the aeroplane. So yeah, it's 20. If the air doesn't hit the plane, it's 27 degrees colder. That's friction for you, heating the air up as it hits the plane, as you would expect. Now this has gone to 25.7, but that wasn't the case at takeoff. Also, it'd be nice to add a progress bar here to show where we are on the flight. That would be cool. Thinking about it now, I think when I saw the weather information on the iPad, it might have been on the Airbus, the Phoenix Airbus, come to think of it. Man, it's all mountains here, isn't it? Imagine, I don't know if there's roads built through here that you can drive through. I suppose there should be some. Still on the coastline. Man alive, it's beautiful. Look at that. Let's just put my seat up. There we go. Wow. Ooh, Jesus, don't frighten me like that. That's impressive. How do the passengers feel about it? Let's see, where are we? Passengers. This one. It is windy out here. Look at this thing. I wouldn't want to be in this seat watching that thing flapping about. Nope. Doesn't look so bad on this side. I like how this is in French and English. So yeah, that's it. We're going to save the French and the English. Any English speakers, any French speakers, you can get out. Anybody else doesn't understand that message, too bad. I also in VR came to one of these seats as well. Yeah, in VR I was I think here on this one, and I was facing forward like this. Obviously I was the only person in the plane, and then I was just able to turn my head and look out the window, and man, VR is something else in this. It really is. A Fokker 50? Let's have a look. Alright, somebody's asking about a Fokker. Just Flight have done the Fokker 100 and the Fokker 70. Or they're doing it. They're in the process of. I don't know what the closest plane to that would be. I don't think there is one in MSFS. It doesn't look like it. But I don't know. It's a top wing turboprop by the looks of it. I'll just show you guys in case you want to see what I'm looking at. Where are we? So this is what I'm looking at right now. This is the Fokker 50.
Cat 859 heavy desire, number 2, runway 23, 5 miles behind 7.
So yeah, top wing, turboprop, I would imagine that would be, right? I hope. It'd be better if it is. This is KLM, so it's a Dutch one. So I don't know. The Mbaba 146 looks like this, but I think it's a lot bigger plane. Maybe one of the smaller CRJs would be a good way to do it. Any plane that can get you from A to B in a decent amount of time, or in a time that this would take, would be good. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it?
Fanatec 953, contact departure 128.
128, stay your front, I think.
I wonder what those are. It's this sim is so friggin' impressive though, because if you look at the last one, FSX, like it's not even it's not even close to this. The graphics on this is just mind-boggling, and the fact that it does this for the whole planet is nuts. Like you can just be anywhere. India, Thailand, Japan, Turkey, Australia, Russia. Doesn't matter. It's gonna look as it should look. More or less.
Jet 99, target
Wow. I don't suppose the topology is perfectly accurate, but damn. Who am I to know? So there's top of descent. Oh yeah. Looking forward to this descent, guys. I hope the plane can make that turn okay. I can do the descent profile. I can monitor that. And hopefully the speeds as well. It's just a question of getting it lined up to the runway. Because this is the first time I've flown. In fact, I don't know if I've done it before, but I don't recall ever taking an airliner into a runway that doesn't have an ILS or a glide slope. This one, I mean, this one doesn't. It's RNAV on the way in, so there's no localizer, right? It's just there's no signal for the plane to latch onto. You're kind of on your own. And of all the planes I chose to do it with, I picked this one. The one that's given me the most hassle when it comes to landing. This is the equivalent of beating up the biggest guy in the gang first. It's doing this one. Because I'd probably have more success in the Boeing or the A320 because I know it better. I know those planes better than I do this one. But on the flip side, if I manage to do this, work this out like I just did by working out, oh hey, I can add a couple of more waypoints here to make my life easier. If I can work all this out myself, then that's a big win for me. We're down to the last ton of fuel in the center tanks. It's also using outer as well. Now we have 5.8 tons of fuel remaining, and we are starting with 11.5. So we're coming down to 11.3. Forgive me, 11.3. So we're on about half the fuel now that we started with, and I believe I'd like to believe that we're more than half distance. I would have known that better had I started the chrono, but I have a habit of not doing that. Just before you set off going on the runway, start the chrono and take off. But no, not me. Oh, the Friendship Drive. The Fokker 50 is the improved version of the F-27 Friendship, never heard of it. And there's also a stretched freighter version, the Fokker 60. And you're right, it's turboprop. Yeah, so the Fokker 100 and Fokker 70, which they're talking about bringing to this sim, maybe the even longer versions then, I would imagine. Right? I guess.
WestJet 671, turn line up runway 2. Line up runway 23 with 61.
I still can't remember where the overhead brightness levels are for this. And I've done it a couple of times, but I can never remember. I think isn't it this thing down here, it's got the overhead light? Yeah, this one, there you go. That one. It's kind of unusual to have a button down here that applies brightness to the overhead panel. Normally it's up here, and the reading light doesn't really help me. But yeah, I think it's okay. Man, look at those mountains. Water! We have water! We have populations here and here. Yeah, impressive outside, I have to say. So we're still in the icing range. If we were higher up, I think we would move out of the icing range. I guess it's just down to the altitude that we're at. And I picked this cruise level because I didn't want to be flying at 39,000. So we are using more fuel, but I'm hoping that when I picked flight level 280, that SimBrief has calculated that we're going to need a little bit more fuel than if we were flying at 39,000. I am hoping that is the case. I mean, I will add fuel if I need to, but I'm hoping that we're not going to need that. Okay, so there's CLA. It's around 22 nautical miles away. Didn't even see it. Didn't even see it. I have to remember that the next waypoint is here. 335 degrees, and there's the nautical miles to it. Okay, so descent is there. So the only thing I need to feed in is the VOR frequency. I can do that on the final turn, I think. 117, and course is 193, which we've already got set there, but it's not going to make any difference. I need it here, and we don't get to mess with this at all unless we flick this switch up. Problem is, if I flick that up now and change this to 111.50 and go back to nav, okay, if I go back to VOR, is it going to remember 111.50? Oh, it does. Cool. Okay. Well, in that case, we'll set the VOR frequency for Eura, which is the airport runway right now, and we'll set the course to 193. And I'm hoping to see that displayed when I switch officially over. Now, TOMEB and UR804 are not VORs, but if TOMEB was a VOR, I'd probably feed it into here, VOR2. I would feed that information into here, and then have our final VOR here. I'd probably do that. And then I think there is a VOR 1 and 2 button somewhere, so we can switch. These are comms. Where's VOR 1 and 2 switching over, so we can pick which one we want? There must be one, surely. Huh. Well, you can tell the plane to go from VOR 1 to VOR 2 and back again. You must have one, right? See, you've got the transponder there. You can transfer VHF there. I guess Maybe we would use this, maybe? VOR2 on this side? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know enough about it, guys. I don't think the co-pilot is VOR2 and we're VOR1. I don't think it works that way. But I might be wrong.
Lufthansa 495, contact departure 128.8. 495, 128.
Is there a switch, like, back here? No. Like, if you program in two separate VORs, how does the plane know which one you want it to go to first? And then once it's done that, how do you switch to the second one? Huh? Or am I just dreaming here? Ah. Ah. There you go. I think this is Captain's VOR. Is it? And this is First Officer's VOR? Is it? That doesn't ring right to me, but it could be. So then maybe this is the VOR1 and this is VOR2. Like, what the hell do I know?
Transit 470, contact ground.
I think you'd need to have it in VOR mode as well, though. Not now. Yeah, that's interesting to me. I have to find out about that. ATR-72, Dornier 328 and Dash A300 are the most comparable planes. I've got one of the Dash ones in the sim. ATR-72, why does that ring a bell? Oh yeah, it looks quite similar. It looks a bit longer, but it's got very similar looks, hasn't it? Especially around the tail area. Okay, we need to bring in the sheaves. There we go. Prepare for descent now. Look at this thing. Like, does any people actually live here? There must be so many parts of this place where it's just like there's nobody around. Okay, so once we get to top of descent, we want to be coming down to TOMEB, or we can come down to flight level 180. But I don't think the limit there is shown here. Looks to me as though we have PLENTY of time, plenty of time to get down to 4,850. So let's call it. Well, we'll bring it down to 10, and then we'll see where we are first. So let's get 10 engaged.
Question 3, wind 320, 15 gusts to 20, left takeoff.
Now this is the important part. This is where you need your throttles, your actual throttles, minimized, closed, zeroed, off, however you want to call it. So this is going to bring us back down to the transition altitude, and we want to be at a speed of around 180. Nope, that doesn't look right to me. I'm going to suggest as long as we're at 250 or under. So we can't be above 250 for 10,000, so I'm going to feed in a speed of 250 here, not 180. And there's our descent. So we can start descending right now, and the plane should realize as it's coming down to around 10,000 to flick this speed limit down to 250. It should know to do that. Gulp. Here we go, guys. See, because I just flicked the switch, we haven't switched over to level change. If I did that, I'd be able to command whatever speed I wanted here. But because I just pulled the switch, we're still on profile and on nav. Nav wouldn't change anyway, but we're still on profile. So this is our vertical deviation. So the yellow line, if I'm wrong with anything, tell me. The yellow line is us. This is the correct flight profile. So we are below that at the moment. So that means that we're descending a little bit too quickly at 2,300 feet per minute, whatever it is. I can correct for that by changing the vertical speed amount so that it's not descending as fast. And Mr. Budman one and only, are we there yet? We're not there yet because we're still in the air. We are over, yeah, we're in Peru here today. We are flying in Peru, and some of the scenery's been pretty cool. So yeah, we can start leveling the plane off a little bit if we wanted to, so that it matches get it more down to the flight profile here. I'm going to leave the plane alone. Let me just take a look where we're going to be here. Okay, so this blue arrow indicates when we'll hit 10,000 feet. And we need to be... What's TOMEB? What? Well, that's not right. I think that just... Yeah, I'm ignoring that. Where did that come from all of a sudden? This used to say... Didn't this used to say 4,000 something, or was that this? I'm ignoring that. That's just... Yeah. Forget that. I'm happy to be at 10,000 and then get down to... I'm going to say 4,500 for TOMEB, because this turn is a sharp one. It looks small because we are zoomed out a lot. So this is about 30 nautical miles away, so we can now bring this down to 30. There it is. Yeah, so we are well below the flight profile. We're going to hit 10,000 before, ideally, we should. But I'm okay. When we switch up to VOR, do we have to do this? This is just for display purposes, right? So, if I put that on, and I put that on, okay, so the profile looks like it's getting a little bit better now. Why can't we? Oh, we can't have constraints on at the same time. Okay. I'm learning, guys, as we go. Alex Kim 302. Hi, Alex. Good day to you, sir. Is available as a mod for MSFS. Is it payware or is it freeware? Oh, it's free? Okay. Well, if you can find out the airport he took off from, maybe we can recreate the flight. Okay, so we're not in icing range anymore, so we can take off the anti-ice. I'm not liking my fuel situation. But we're not far off, eh? Yeah, we're going to be at 10,000 a lot sooner than we should. The problem with that is, of course, more air down here, and therefore more fuel required. But we still should have enough. And we don't get that lovely beep beep beep. You know, your fuel's low. At least I don't think we got it last time. I think the engine's just packed in. I think you do get like some red writing warning coming up. You know, now that we've got the air conditioning issue sorted that I had at the beginning, it makes me wonder how the hell I even got that problem in the first place. Because I'm sure I haven't done anything different. I have the econo mode on. What the hell did I do wrong to get the aircon not working? APU bleed off maybe? I don't know. No idea. Everything starts from this point, guys. Wow. Oh, look at the color transition here. Oh, this final part, guys, is gonna. Oh, Lima. Oh, where we just took off from. Okay, remind me at the end of the flight to check out if the airport is around on here, and we'll take a look at distance and stuff, and for another day we'll have a look. Now that's moved. These lines have moved. I want to know what they do. I'll find out. I'll ask people on Discord. Screenshot for reference and research purposes. So, what's this? Is this for a holding pattern? In case we get held at the airport, is this where you can start a holding pattern? I don't know. Fuel is okay for me. What isn't okay is this. So UR804, which is near Tomeb, is 3,480. Let's call it 335. So I want to be at 4.5 for Tomeb, I think. So we hit 10,000? We have. Okay. I want to go down to 4.5 for Tomeb. Let's see if we can calculate that so that we are at... Remembering that the plane isn't going to get to Tomeb directly, or it shouldn't do. It shouldn't go there. It should start turning. What was that click? What was that click? Why are you descending now? I didn't tell you could do that. Okay. Yes, it's not going to get to Tomeb. It's literally going to make that turn a lot sooner. Why is... I heard a couple of buttons click, and I don't like that it did that. Okay, please don't screw me over. What's the speed? 250. Okay, so for TOMEB, 295, no. So for UR804, we want to be down to 221. I wonder if I should make the plane turn over here and then head for TOMEB so that we get a nicer turn. So what would that be? 0 degrees. I'm going to go with it, guys. I'm going to go with my gut feeling here. Oops. Should have got the thing in first. I'm going with my gut feeling here. I'm gonna bring the plane out across here, and then we're gonna turn onto TOMEB. Fuel 3.9. Hey, if I can land in Madrid like I did the other day at night, I can manage this. Okay, so we're not quite parallel, and I really want it to be, so if we can just turn another 10 degrees, please. Okay. Just monitoring the altitude as well, to make sure that we're down to the correct speed. I'm trusting to the auto throttles at the moment. I just hope it doesn't let me down. Okay, once we hit 5,000, I'm going to switch back to nav and hope that the plane does a bank to the left. If it banks to the right, then we're going to abort that. Thank you very much, plane. Okay, so now it should be going to TOMEB. 4860. You see? Not flight level 280, you dozy arse. Now, how good can you make this turn? Have I got it right? Have I nailed it? When do I kick in VOR? Do I even need to? Probably. Yes, probably. This is the VOR Eura, so I guess after we pass UR804 we can kick it in. Come on, baby. Come on, light that fire. Come on. There's the runway. Come on, be sweet. Be nice. Be nice to Uncle Rusty. Now it's gonna fly a little bit. Come on, keep going. Okay, so for UR804 we want 200. This is a hell of a landing speed. Slats out at 180, flaps 139. Okay, I'm going to try. So 174, 139. Okay. Prog, please. Okay, what speed are we doing? Okay, so we need to come down to the next speed, I think, 210.
4951, check your apparent homing search.
Doing it manual now. Shh, be quiet. Hush. It's, yeah, why isn't it descending? Please descend. Again, I'm telling it to descend. I'm literally telling it to descend and it will not do it. Now you're doing it. But it's too late now. It's too late because we're over the runway. It's fucked me over again. I couldn't get the descent done because it was too busy not descending. So okay. All right. Right, you're under my control now. Auto throttle off. I will control you. And from now on, you're going to do what I tell you to do manually. I guess it was because those last three waypoints, the TOMEB, the UR804 and the URA, all came up kind of together, very, very close together, and I didn't have time to react to it all. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around, head out, start reducing altitude after we've turned back on the actual runway's course. So if 193 is the heading in and you remove 180 from 193, you get 13. So that's my heading, to be parallel with the runway. Okay, so we are above the flight path here, of course. That makes a lot of sense because it all got messed up. So we're just going to travel a little bit away. So I want to be here in Prague and I want to get to around 10 nautical miles away. I'm not going to bother with the VOR. I'm just going to wing it, no pun intended at all. Fuel? Talk to me. Oh, okay, we are. Okay, let's just hold things a little bit here and try and figure out what's going on. Okay, so the autopilot has gone off for reasons. Okay, so the autopilot has decided it's going to switch itself off. That's the reason why the speed is not being obeyed here, and that's why we've dropped down to 120, so we're about to stall. So what condition made the autopilot switch off? I'm just going to jab in a little bit of fuel. We do have fuel still remaining, but regardless, I want to just jab in a bit more. So that's not a factor here. Okay. So for some reason, of course, because my actual throttle is off, the speed has reduced. So why did the autopilot kick in? So the autopilot tends to kick off, switch itself off, when conditions that are not designed for the plane are not met, and it doesn't like it, and so it says, hey, I don't like this, you take over. Now we're on flaps 15, and the speeds for that are 210, which is, that's the minimum speed you want to be going at flaps 15, and we are at 210. So that was correct. My altitude is fine, my heading is fine. The speed is armed at 210, but it's still coming down to 120. Okay, so I'm going to use my physical throttle now and apply some power. And let's see if we can get the speed back up. Because the plane is actually pitching upwards, which is as well causing the speed to veer off. See, we got 3,900 here, and I'm sure you can appreciate that is not correct. But the plane is doing this to save itself. The plane wants to save itself from crashing, and so it's trying to increase, well, not increase power, it certainly didn't try to do that, but it's trying to pitch upwards. So yeah, I have to say that despite everything, I still don't understand this plane. Now it's going to overspeed, is that right? It is. Which is weird, because it's clear that I'm telling it, hey, 210 please. Okay. So I'm going to fly the plane myself. I'm not quite sure how far we are away. 9, okay. If you want a job doing, you have to do it yourself. How much throttle do you want to stop dropping? There we go. So now I have to confirm this by doing yet another flight in this plane. I want 5 proper landings before I will even convince myself that this plane is anywhere near normal. So flaps 20 is 195, 180. I don't even know the direction of the runway, but it should be it is 193 for sure. It's going to be a tough little bugger, this. I'm just going to fly visual, I think. Is it the one on the left or the one on the right? Because it looks like we've got multiple runways here, but I know we don't. I think I'm going to go and find out for myself, because I don't have my game controller working. It likes to switch itself off for reasons known to nobody except probably Microsoft. So one of these is a runway and one of them is a taxiway, and it's the one on the right. Okay, cool, awesome, that's all I wanted to know. Fuel level low. Yeah, it would be. We put a bit more fuel in? Yeah. Cool. Okay. Seatbelts on, people. I don't know which is more satisfying, a manual landing or or the fact that the plane's screwed up in the first. No, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Landing via an ILS approach? No. Say no, no. Can't get my initials correct here. Landing via VOR RNAV approach, or landing the plane manually, which is the most satisfying. Probably knowing you can do it manually if everything else fails, right? I'm not bothering with such petty things as landing lights because it's a game and I don't need to do it right now.
Sync rate. Sync rate. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
Remind me where the brake fan is, right there. Always fucking temperatures high on the brakes, always. I know why, it's because I didn't set auto brakes, and therefore I ended up manually doing the brakes a lot longer than what I, than what I should have needed. So as long as, I guess, if something's not quite right and you know why, then it's okay. As long as you know why as long as you can explain it, it's okay. I'm starting to hate this plane though, but at the same time I want to master it, but I still hate it because I've never had, with any airliner, I've never had any issues. Obviously there's no parkings available for this plane, so that's handy. Mind you, I did pick an airport I knew nothing about, so... I also, because I had to do this manually, I didn't bother arming. It's not that I didn't bother, it's just that I didn't think about it at the time because I had a lot on my mind. So I didn't do the speed brakes and I didn't do the auto brake low coming, you know, before we hit the ground, and that should have been done. But nevertheless, all it did was make the temperatures on the brakes go a bit hot. It's not the end of the world. This is going to be a little bit interesting now. No jetways. It might be that GSX will be a little bit finicky here and not allow me to deboard because we're not in an official parking zone. This should have been done on the taxiway coming when I turned around, when I turned the plane around. That's when I should have flicked that switch, but I already know that. So that's fine. Just waiting now for APU to kick in. When you're not at a jetway, GSX should be able to bring the stairs to the plane. That is exactly what I'm expecting it to do. And if it doesn't, it'll be quite disappointing. Come on APU, up you come. I think we're waiting for these as well. I think once this reaches a certain level, we should start getting a hertz and a voltage, if I'm not mistaken. There we go, lovely. Awesome, thank you. Now it's available. So now we can turn the engines off. Now we need to clear the error here. Okay, so APU is running, parking brake is on, no smoking is on. Fine. Let's finish this thing properly if we can. So, rather than rely on GSX, I'm going to ask this to plug in the ground power. That's done. I don't want GSX arguing with me saying that you can't do it or whatever. So, external power available. And now we can shut off the APU. And these idiots on the radio can go too. Oh, okay, the plane did that by itself. Fair enough. Alright, people. Let's see if we can get you off.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Yes. Shut up. No, you need to detect where the plane is. It's not up to, it's not. You need to work around me where I am. So come on. Okay, you're going in backwards here. That's better. Yeah, you've got a tow vehicle in the way. You'll have to work around it. A tug. It's lined up with the plane. Can't complain of that. That's pretty good. And we have front and back. So what we should see is people actually literally getting off the plane now. Okay. Stairs on there. I'm not going to bring any other equipment like refueling or catering or blah blah blah. I'm not going to do that. So let's request.
Passenger's bus is coming.
Right. So because there's no jetway, the passengers can't walk into the airport, and therefore it requires a bus. This bus cannot handle all the passengers in one go. So with GSX there is a choice of either bringing 2 buses
Passengers boarding.
or having the bus do 2 trips, or have the bus take everybody even though in reality it can't. Now I don't know which one I have it set to. It might be the fact that the bus has to make 2 trips. 2 buses would have been the better solution, but I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm hoping we're going to be seeing passengers getting off here. Come on, GSX, don't let me down now. There's 130 people on my plane. Hi, Andy. Yeah, it was okay. It was not bad. At least we got it down. And I'm going to take a little screenie of this. Yeah, I did the whole landing, like going away from the airport and turning it and coming back and landing. That was all manual because I turned the autopilot off. It was completely manual. Look at him, so casual. Get off my plane! And of course on this side we've got the freight coming off, we've got the baggages coming off. Take some screenies of this because it's always cool. That bus, I think it can hold around 90 people, so there's gonna be like 40 people that are gonna have to hang around. I don't know whether we can call for another bus. I don't even know what option I've got set. I think it's that the bus has to do multi-trips.
For your aircraft.
Yes, I know, you keep saying, shut up. Now you can't see the settings, but oh, I've got multiple trips set. But that's for things like the fuel truck. So if you want, say, I don't know, stupid number, 50 tons of fuel, and the fuel truck has only got 30 tons, it'll have to go back and come back again. As for the bus, I know there is a specific setting here for the bus because I've seen it. Multiple trips, unless that's can make multiple travels during service. Estimate passenger numbers is off, which it should be. Yeah. I wonder where that option is then, because I know that there are 3 options for the bus, but I don't see them in the settings. Is everybody literally piling on the bus? Yes, they are. We'll forget the fact that there's an unfortunate vehicle in the way. But how cool is this, man? People actually getting off the plane, the whole deal. Baggage going up, coming off the plane, freight coming off the plane. Get off my plane, guys. Get off my plane. That child just went through that man. And that's a wide bus. What happens when we get to 90 passengers? It looks like there's 3 passengers left here. Is it going to take that 90? 89? And then the other one's going to get on the bus now, which will be 90. That's this one. Alright, she's on. But the bus can't carry more than 90, right? No, so there goes. So this... Oh, is this a second bus coming now? Or is he going to come back? Oh, no, it's a second bus. Okay. Right, so I see. So the second bus happens after the first bus goes away. And now we've got... And now we've got the rest of the passengers to come out. Okay, so I think the only issue with that flight was that the final waypoints were a lot closer together in terms of distance to the airport as well than I had anticipated. And so, yeah. So the plane did its thing. The only thing I don't understand is why the autopilot cancelled. It wasn't happy about something, obviously, but I don't know what. And I will not be looking back on the stream to find out either, because it probably won't provide any answers. So, I think in my mind I kind of know, you know, what the deal was there. So as long as I stick to going to airports that have literal ILSs, and therefore a better approach into the runway than what we had, because if you remember, we were doing a very tight final turn to get onto the runway path, and I think we had TOMEB and UR804 that was super close to each other, and I was a little bit too high to begin with to start that descent, so I don't know what the correlation between where we were in the sky to the autopilot kicking out is. I don't know. So we got a... I thought it was a Scotsman, but it wasn't. It's just a girl in a tartan skirt. It was the socks that threw me. I wish I could remember. There was a feature that this doesn't have. Oh, yes, I know what it is. There's a feature that this doesn't do yet, and I noticed it straight away after the first time that I got GSX. And I thought, oh, why can't we do that? But it turns out that the developers are working on making it possible, and they're going to add it. And that is boarding the captain, the first officer, and the crew separately to the passengers. Because right now you can't do that. You have the captain and first officer coming on, then the crew, then the passengers, and that's a flow that you can't interrupt. Let's get the crew and pilots off now.
Crew bus is coming.
Oh, they get a different bus, of course. So the devs have confirmed that they are going to add that into a future version, which is good, and I think that's what we need.
Crew
So
boarding started.
you can literally have the pilot getting on board. So if I was to say stream, for example, if I'm streaming a flight, I would bring the pilot and the first officer on board first. Then we go into the plane and start doing the cold and dark setup. Once we start programming, we can get the crew on board, and then when I'm fairly happy that I've got all the preliminaries done, then we can ask for the passengers to come on board, which I think is a better flow. So we've got a couple of crew members coming from the back and from the front. Makes sense, because they'll have been the ones saying goodbye to the passengers. And if we were in the plane, in the cockpit, you would have heard the stewardesses saying, you know, goodbye, bye, goodbye. You would have heard all that. So, where's the two main
Pilots to boarding starting.
the two main boys? First officer and the captain. I guess the captain is the last one to leave, right? So here's the first officer, and there's the captain. Last one to leave the ship. Makes sense. Good pilot, he got us down when it all looked like it was... Wow, look at this marching. Eh? Not bad. In formation and everything. Well trained, well trained. Now, will it take the stairs away on its own? I don't think so. Maybe the back ones, but I don't know about the front ones. I haven't seen the front stairs on this before. It even puts the little hydraulic-y things down as well to keep the truck stable. That makes sense. So we now have an empty plane. I think what would maybe happen now is you get cleaners coming in to clean the plane, pick up all of the crisps and cigarette ash and give the plane a bit of a clean out. So I guess we have to actually
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
operate the stairs, and it is closing the doors. Nice. Are we cold and dark? We're not, are we? No. Uh-oh. Okay, we're not cold and dark because I can see the engine moving here. But we will be. We'll get back in and just cold and dark it and switch all the lights off. I can see the lights are on. Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's drop this out. So, all we have to do is 4 more buttons. I'm not going to bother. Yeah, let's take the lights off first. And not going to bother with the rest. 4 buttons and we're done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're cold and dark. That is the flight. That's it, guys. We're done. We made it. I don't know how, but we made it. It wasn't a perfect landing again, but hey. It wasn't a perfect flight, I should say, in terms of the fact that the plane just did its own thing, as it likes to do. But Yeah. But anyway, at least I managed to get it down manually, which I suppose is something. But I shouldn't have to do that. I mean, what should have happened is that I stay on autopilot and I'm commanding the plane, hey, look, do this altitude, do this speed, and then descend to this altitude and do this speed, all the way down until around 1,000 feet, where I can take over and just land myself. That's what should have happened. But I picked an airport without an ILS and a tight turn at the very end, so I tried to minimize that by manually heading outwards and then doing a nice curve back in to make things smoother, but that I guess wasn't enough. I should have maybe, I mean, I flew 10 miles out and then turned the plane round, so I don't know, but we got it down. So I am now going to close this stream down. I'll grab a quick bite, make another cup of tea, and we will return with Elite Dangerous. So go, if you're going to tune in for that one, go make yourself a tea or a coffee or whatever you like, cup of or a glass of wine or a food. We'll do some, I was going to do Rusty, but I don't know whether to do John Beamer instead. I don't know. What should we do? Yeah, so yeah, double stream today, guys. So it's coming up to 5 p.m. now, which is ideal for an Elite stream. So maybe around, I don't know. I'll have to do the thumbnail and everything. I don't know what I'm doing yet. Maybe just some mission play in John Beamer. What do you think? Get some missions done. I can't remember what I'm aiming for at the moment with John Beamer. I can't remember if I've got any aims in mind. I think I want to head towards unlocking some more engineers as well, right? So like Palin and stuff like that. So I think I might want to get that done, or at least try and make some progress towards getting that done. But I also want to really do some on the ground, on foot missions as well. So there's no other planes here, guys. Like, there's not even any small planes. Nothing. And according to my plane injector thing here, SPUR using max 5 additional parked aircraft. Yeah, I'm not seeing them. This is a very small airport, and it could be the case that airliners don't really land here. I don't know, but I did. Yeah. Alright, guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys very shortly with Elite Dangerous. Yes, it's like landing in Port-au-Prince. I also want to do the Madeira landing, but I want to do that in a plane that I know. So I'm probably going to set up a 737-600, maybe the small one, or the 700. And we're going to do a landing at Madeira, because that is in front of the, yeah, when you're landing, you've got this, you've got this, the sea, and then the runway, and then the sea again. And on your right is the sea, and on your left is the land. So you have to nail it. It's kind of like Gibraltar, but Gibraltar's got land or left and right, where Madeira doesn't. It only has land on one side. Now, gain damage. Before we go, I was going to sign out, but I've just remembered. I should load up my Okavanga Delta with the giraffes and the helicopters. We can recreate this picture here. Come on, little progress bar. Let's get back to the world map. So, you asked me about, I don't know whether it's got the IATA codes here, but it may do. There you go. SPPY. I've typed in the IATA code and it brings me the ICAO. SPPY. Chachapoyas. Which is here. And if we select an arrival of Lima, which should be, that's the one we took off from, isn't it? No. There's Las Palmas. Like, we took off from this one today. So I don't know which one. I don't know why it does this. I don't know. Look at this. You type in Lima, right? And it should just stay there and not move until I move something. But it won't. I'm not going to touch a thing. My hands are on the desk. Let's see if it does anything. Las Palmas. There you go, see? Why? What the hell is this? Autopilot on the menus? Yeah, I took off from Lima, but there's many different Lima airports. But let's say Jorge Chavez then. So 51 minutes in this plane. It's not far from where we just did it, to be honest. So to find something similar then, what was that one that you said? It was a DA something? I don't know. This looks similar as well, the Kodiak 100. Now that I can fly. Tundra tires might be handy for this one though. So if we were to fly, say, the Kodiak, let's say, wow, that's a 4-hour trip now. That's suddenly become 4 hours. Now the TBM 930 would be 2 hours. We need kind of a twin engine. Difficult. How about this thing? Private jet. Don't know. I mean, you ideally want a plane that's not going to take too long. The CRJs, I'm not comfortable with them yet. Did you know that with this, I haven't got any dash planes or Dorniers. Did you know that with these planes here, the CRJs, all of them, if you're in the air and your fuel runs out, or forget that, if your engines die, it has that little flap that comes out the bottom with the little propeller to provide energy, to provide a little bit of thrust. You know that little propeller? I think it has a name, but I don't remember what it is. I think if we're going to do that flight, it's going to have to be done with a plane that's got a little bit of oomph behind it, but not necessarily an airline or anything like this one. I don't mind doing in this one, the Embraer Phenom, 53 minutes to, wow, look at this runway here. And what we can do is we can use low altitude airways, and it should give us a path into the runway. Does it? Oh yeah, final turn. No, not happy with that. We need an approach. Do we have one? Yes, we do. And it has an ILS here. Oh, of course, wrong way around. We need to go the other way around. I can't believe, I can't believe that this place has ILS. Really? No. Okay, so we got VOR-A and VOR-B. Yeah, but there's no arrivals on a airstrip this size. So we'd pretty much be bringing the thing in manually. See, you would think, yeah, okay, this would be fine. This will be fine. We go up here and then we make a turn over here. We're kind of heading towards the runway. See, they want us to land on this one, but I'd probably pick this one just out of spite. And and just, you know, bring it in. And then as we get closer, we'll just veer off over here and then bring it down. So this is Chachapoyas here. This is the place, look. I don't know if that's going to reiterate to a better resolution. I don't think so. Wow. Imagine going there, eh? And the other one I want to show you guys is Madeira. Check this out. This is what I'm talking about. C, C, and C. So no matter which way you land at, let's say runway 5. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay. So you're coming in with your big airliner. You've got 9,000 feet of runway. That's plenty for a Boeing 737 to land in, I think. I think it's going to have no problem with that. And yeah, this is what we're looking at. But this would be a flight I would do where we're landing in Madeira. We're not taking off from it. You'd have to land here. But from where, though? Like, where would be a good place? Maybe, not La Palma, but maybe some, oh, Marrakesh. That would be an interesting flight. Gran Canaria. Show me the, it's got a bloody decent runway, that one. Okay, so let's set that as departure. And we're going to be doing it in the 737 because I know it's not going to let me down. So we'll use the 700 and we'll pick a, I'm not doing it now obviously, I'm just going to pick an appropriate livery for no reason whatsoever. It's got to be a little bit further down. I'm actually looking for the eyes. There we go, Iberia. We've got the old Iberia livery. So let's say we were going to do that. And we want high altitude airways. It's a 1 hour flight. That's just about perfect. From Marrakesh would have been a good one though. So high altitude airways. So taking off, runway 3 left, up and across there. Over the sea, the sea, the sea, the sea. And coming down. We don't have an approach set, which is why it looks a bit skewy. So approach into runway 5, not ILS, awesome. Thanks. And yeah. Is that the best you have? So let's try some of these different ones. I would have to consult Navigraph to find out the correct approach here, but none of these look. How are these for runway 05 when they're coming? This is feasible. I've seen plenty of approaches happening this way. Nope. It's better to do it in SimBrief. It will give you the route for you. It's probably going to be where was that one that looked? Yeah, it's probably going to be this one. Oh, that's not the same one, is it? No. I've lost it now. There, this one. It's probably going to be this one. You would fly up and then turn around because you'd be descending the whole time. and then you'd make your approach in this way. You see, and it gives you a nice flight path to start coming into the runway. That'll be a nice little challenging one, but I definitely want to do it at some point. And I think the Boeing would be very comfortable to do it with for me. No ILS. So yeah, again, no glide slope to capture. But I would trust that this plane wouldn't do what the A310 does, which is go all Karen on me and, you know, oh, can't do that speed, switch off the autopilot, all that stuff. So I think Madeira would be a great one to do. I'd probably prefer to do it in a light aircraft first, or at least not a light aircraft, but a general aircraft, maybe a private jet or something to do that trip first, to get grips with it, and then maybe take it on in an airliner. But definitely, 100%, this is on my to-do list, and it's probably going to happen sooner than later. We could maybe even take off from Casablanca here. But wait a minute. That's France. Well, how the hell did I get all the way up to France? Right, so there's Gibraltar. But all the years I was in Gibraltar, I never realized that Lanzarote and oh look, it is at volcano-y thing, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't realize that La Palma and Lanzarote and all that were right there. Can't believe they have an airport here, but they do. What's the length here? 779. Interesting. That would be a nice takeoff as well, wouldn't it? Lanzarote, runway 21 up, and then around and landing in. Okay. Wow, look at that scar on the terrain. Yeah, we'll do it. All right then, that's gonna wrap it up. I will be back very shortly once I've had a little munch and a slurp. And I'll see you then with Elite Dangerous. Till then, bye.